There we go. Does it work now? Yes. Well, my favorite episode of Steven Universe is when he goes to the universe and universe is all over the place and tells everyone, I'm Steven. That's my favorite episode. Followed closely by the episode titled Pearl Hates the Irish. I'm sure everyone remembers that one. We're going to get to Pearl Hates the Irish at some point. It's a very strange episode. Everyone says it's such a progressive show, and meanwhile they're just making episodes like Pearl Hates the Irish. Wait one moment. How's everyone doing today, chat? How's my chat doing? I feel I get like pranked every time I start. Also, I know before the stream even started, I saw multiversal archives backlogs. Thanks for the super chat, the $2. Very much appreciate it. Just chillin', hell yeah. Anyone set off any fireworks yesterday? I know I set off at least like 10 bottle rockets, but not much else. There's no one over. No one came over. I said, I told some friends, hey, I'm going to set off a bunch of fireworks, but I think they're all doing stuff with their families. I'll save them. I've had those fucking bottle rockets for at least 2 or 3 years. They've been sitting collecting dust. They still work. Fireworks don't really expire, I don't think. You did fountains? I haven't done like a good fireworks show in quite a long time. This is the first year in like 5 years that I didn't buy any fireworks. Because I just had so many from previous years that I never set off. I still have at least like 500 bottle rockets. Those little whistling ones that go pew! You know. I sure hope it does. Nice. Anyway, I gotta pick a soundtrack. What kind of soundtrack do I have? I think I may. I did Superliminal last week. I feel like I can do FTL again. I know that's an hour and a half long, so. Yeah, FTL. Is that gonna work? Oh, it's not actually not coming over my, There we go. OBS has been acting kind of strange as of recent. I love FTL. I love the soundtrack. I feel like I keep saying I'm gonna stream on Twitch. I did that once since I said I started. When I do start doing that more often, I'm probably gonna play FTL a little bit, maybe with mods, because that game is fucking awesome. What's my profile picture? I feel like someone asked me that last stream. And I just drew it. That's just something I drew like 10 years ago. Oh, that's really... Okay, I gotta bring that down because I feel it's like really loud. I don't know. Okay. Let's boot up the Blender. I actually gotta get the window ready. New window. Here we go. Give me that blend. Oh, it even works without me fucking touching anything. That's awesome. What episode am I looking forward to? There's a lot I'm looking forward to. In the near future, probably, let me think. Weirdly enough, people are gonna think I'm strange for this, but I'm gonna be excited to talk about Hey Uncle, or Say Uncle, not Hey Uncle. Because a lot of people hate that episode, and I think those people just don't like fun. If you saw the hot takes video on Patreon, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of good season 1B and season 2 episodes. People, I think, the Say Uncle is weird. Like, in the release order, it's in a really fucked up spot because it happens like 2 episodes after Jailbreak when it premiered, but chronologically it's supposed to take place like 5 to 10 episodes before that. And it's weird because you watch that episode like as you were watching it when it came out, like I was. That episode comes out and Garnet has her like previous form, and it's really fucking strange because it's like, wait, why are we watching a episode? Like, didn't Garnet like get a new outfit? Forget about the one where Steven imagines what Garnet does all day. Okay, another weird story about that one. I'll probably include this in the video when I get to it. That's entirely filler, but I love that episode. It's very strange. I think that when I watched it for the first time, I thought it was just like one of those Adventure Time episodes that like got a guest animator or whatever, and it just like had a slightly different art style. I really thought that was just like a straight up like real episode of the show. I'm like, wait, they have like fucking talking animals in this show? What the hell? It was crazy. I was a little bit stupid back then. I'm a little bit stupid now as well, so don't you worry. This music sounds like Danny Phantom. That's a show I never really enjoyed, unfortunately. I know a lot of people like that one. I just could not... I could not, for the life of me, enjoy Danny Phantom. For once, it's not super hot, just pouring rain. It is also pouring rain where I am. Do you live near me? Anyone get jump scared by John Wick in the actual video? Because I included clips from John Wick and all. It's like I've heard people were not expecting John Wick in a Steven Universe discussion. Go out and play in the rain? No, I gotta stream. We gotta discuss. A state to your right. Is that my right or your right? I wonder if Lapis intentionally sculpts the water into everyone's shapes or if it's more autonomous. Like the mirror thing. I keep reading comments, rather. I thought I was going to say hearing these comments. I keep reading comments on that video saying, like, Lapis had residual, like, mirror powers or something. And I just don't quite understand that. There's a bunch of people saying, like, Lapis is more powerful being cracked. Like, the idea that a gem is a glass cannon, when they're cracked, like they're super strong, but you could just like touch them and they'll fucking break in half. Let me think. I just don't see any evidence besides Lapis being strong in this episode working toward that. Like, that's just a coincidence. If the only evidence you have going is the one episode where it happens. Maybe Lapis had a lot of pent-up energy. That is more likely, I think. I love Amethyst. I love her too. She's cool. I would fucking have drinks. I would go party with Amethyst. I think... How drunk do you think Amethyst gets, like, on a weekly basis? I think I've asked this before. I feel like Amethyst, if Steven Universe wasn't a kid's show, she would just have, like, beer cans, like, all over her room. I feel like a gem would need a lot of alcohol to get drunk. Maybe Lapis built the tower slowly? No, dude, it was one day past, and there was a tower. No. Having to fight water sounds like a losing battle, yeah. Could explain why Amethyst shapeshifting was going haywire in Indirect Kiss, and instead of having to show it off in a fight, was more so a passive. I don't know how true that is, because the Ruby, when Steven's in the bubble, also has, like, shape-shifting issues when her gem is cracked. Once or twice a month, she would go out and do it because she has other hobbies. Yeah, it's possible. She'd be doing, like, wrestling and stuff week by week, and then find some time at some point to go drinking. Also, I didn't get to say it. There's so many things that I wanted to include in this video that I just ran out of time to, like, I had to end up putting it up on Patreon before I could cover it. Everything that happened throughout season 1 came back in this one. Purple Puma is here. Pearl fighting her clone is here. Fucking Lion is here. Connie is here. What was I going to say? There's another one. Steven's bubble comes back. Steven's powers each only showed up one time throughout the whole show. And they each, one of them, except shapeshifting, come back in this episode, except shapeshifting. I don't know why shapeshifting didn't come back. The cheeseburger backpack is here. Fire salt doesn't show up. Yeah, but they used it all up. I think, well, maybe that's a way to tell filler in, like, any episode that didn't get somehow referenced in this one is filler. So the replicator wand isn't there. So onion trade was filler. The fire salt wasn't there, so fucking, I guess the light cannon wasn't there either. Damn! Okay, then maybe that's a bad way to... Huh. I forgot that she, like, does this, the water, like, crystal mirror shit onto the galaxy warp in that one episode. And she gets cool mirror eyes. Lapis was ready to kill, or, like, Water Steven was ready to kill them in this shot. And Greg is a fucking hero. I always thought this was so badass that, like Water Steven got fucking roasted in this. Right here. Love for Onion in the chat. Onion apologists in the chat will be banned. Maybe not, but I can't be bothered to ban everyone. I don't like Onion. I've said it before. I think Onion is weird and doesn't belong in the show. We'll talk about Lapis taking all the water. and its consequences later on. I think we could talk about it now. What happens? Oh, that was my water bottle. What happens with the fucking Lapis taking all the water? Let's look at the shot with the big sword. Like the ecological I don't know if you say ecological or ecological. I say ecological. The impacts of all that is insane. Like, first of all, I think the most obvious one is that all the water rushes back all at the same time, and the amount of erosion and, like, destruction that would cause is monumental. Go to space, you can see all the water is gone in one shot. Yes. Let's look at that. Yeah. It's like, it's all gone. It's just like, it's hard to tell because it's a really washed out. But yeah, this is it's totally dry. People hear filler and think it's automatically bad, but it's honestly important for a pacing perspective. Yeah, I agree with that, and I've said it before that not all filler is bad and not all bad episodes are filler. Every time I go on my little rants about filler, I always cap it off with that. Why is my YouTube Creator Studio not loading? Okay, that's weird. Let me think. So how much, like, water pressure is there at the bottom of this tower? Like, all the... Let me talk about fish genocide again. All these fish should be fucking dead. There's no room for whales. These fish should be, like... They'd be dealing with, like, monumental pressure that they realistically could never... Like, their eyeballs should be exploding or something. Mudslides. All the Earth's water suddenly appeared in a massive single downpour. There would be, like, this crater where the water is. Where all the water, like, piled onto itself. Just, like, the heat exerted from it all smashing into one place. It would probably be, like, an extinction-level event. Like a fucking, you know, the meteor that killed all the dinosaurs. It would be that, like, heavy of an impact, I think. The Epoch, welcome. Also, let's have a moment of remembrance for the Epoch's second channel, Rambling Addict, that got nuked for a penis infraction. If you're in the Discord, you know. If you're not in the Discord, there's a link in the description. But yeah, rest in peace, Rambling Addict. He will live on forever on Patreon, I think. Did you end up uploading those to Patreon, James, if you're still here? I know you just got here. I hope you're still here. I joined and the first thing I heard was penis infraction. Excellent. Excellent. Lapis was not taking any time to think about fish husbandry. Yeah. These motherfuckers. Do you guys know about ocean sunfish that are like evolutionary failures, but somehow they still exist for the pure sake that they give birth, or they lay like 1 million fucking eggs, like 3 million eggs at a time or some bullshit like that? Seen sunfish with chomps taken out of them? Yeah, sharks and like seals will just take fucking bites out of them and they just do not care. They are not failures. I feel so bad for you, James, about all that shit. I also think I was the first to notice because I was looking for the video and then I sent you that message. I'm like, wait, what Like, what happened to Rambling Addict? It's not there. That blows, man. Evolutionary cheat code. Yeah, I think the cheat code is just have a fuck ton of babies at once. Which is why pandas are the real failures. Also, I think people are still shooting off fireworks. If there's like popping, banging noises, it's either thunderstorm, it might be thunderstorming, and or fireworks. Look at Water Steven's pissed. Look at him. Yeah, people are still fucking... I don't know, it's like there's huge thunder, like... There's a big thunderstorm-looking clouds coming, but people are still shooting off fireworks. Did some fast calculations, and the pressure of should be like thousands of atmospheres. The fish should be stew. Yeah, they'd be like a slurry. I think water at that pressure like turns back into a solid, even at like room temperature or like ocean temperature. Don't quote me on that because I'm not a chemist. Or a physicist. Also, Water Steven doesn't summon a weapon because Lapis doesn't know what his weapon is. Steven should have instantly been crushed. Yeah. When he jumped in. Yeah, his fucking lungs should have collapsed instantly. And then when he got to space, his head should have fucking exploded because like it's space. There's no atmosphere here. Also, you could pause on any frame during this scene and everything goes hard. Like this shit. Like, oh. Also, there's no... I don't know... There must be air here because her fucking hair and her dress is billowing. I don't know. Or that's like a shape-shifting thing because it stops when she gets healed, right? No, it's still going. Shit goes harder than a diamond. Lapis is amazing. You should very, very carefully not spell it that way again. Lapis. Lapiswasser. That's like mixing 3 different words. Or 3 different languages even. Lapis. Wait, I figured out how to do text now. Yeah, okay. Oops. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, I can't move shit around? Are you joking me? No, where did it go? My phone's going off. I need to put that on silent or something. Oh, I'm moving the wrong thing around. Hold on. Did I lost it. Okay, I don't know what happened. I was going to put Lapis. Lapis is the piss. She's taking the piss. Also, the reveal of her, like, eyes not being like that, I think was done, like, not permanently being mirrors was done pretty good, in my opinion. I like her not having, like, in... Someone said, should she have kept the mirror eyes? And I think it's better that she didn't. First of all, it would be much harder to make her expressive. Not that she's expressive when she comes back. She's like nothing, what do you call it? she is she's not really expressive at all, and she's not really, I don't know, she got shafted in her characterization later, which sucks because she's got such a cool design and she gets barely any screen time throughout the whole show. She'd be like a Don't Starve character. Yeah, you're kind of right. Emotive, yeah. That's the word that I was trying to formulate in my brain. My stupid, tired brain. It's not that late. I shouldn't be tired. I got some caffeine to keep me going through this, though. They really don't give Lapis any actual character traits outside of her story. What story? That's my question. Is she doesn't get a character arc like all the other characters do. She gets to she panics or she like rooms with Peridot for a little bit. She fucking panics and then fucks off to the moon with the barn for some reason. And then like she just kind of sulks, and then at some point she just reappears on Earth and like had all her character development off screen. I don't that Lapis learns to forgive Peridot. That was one whole episode that she got to do that. And then in a later episode, she complains that the Ruby was like, she's not that well, no one could be that well adjusted. What about the whole thing with Jasper? Yeah, that never got touched on again after she unfused. Maybe one episode they like mentioned it and then never touched on it again. Also, I didn't get to touch again. There's a lot of things I didn't get to say in the video itself because I ran out of time editing, but Steven like wipes his hand off because he fucking licked it. He like, it cuts to him and he's like wiping his hand off. Here. Fucking before he says no prob Bob. Like he like wipes his hand off and then then says no prob Bob. Lapis doesn't really even deal with her trauma, does she? No, she just, again, character development off screen. She got like robbed of her character moments throughout the whole show. And people are going to hate me for saying that she isn't really a compelling character, but she's not. It doesn't, I like her too. She's cool, but that's all she is. She's just cool. She doesn't have, like, anything interesting going on. Like, Peridot... I say Peridot, Amethyst, and Pearl get the best characterization throughout the whole show. Aside from, like, Steven, of course. And Lapis, Bismuth, even Garnet, the Diamonds, like, none of them get really any good, like, character development moments. Bismuth is another one who just has all her character development happen off screen. Also, I think Lapis is wearing a wig. Like, look at that hairline. I think she's bald and wearing a wig. Rose? Yeah, Rose gets good character development, but she has it backwards. The show presents it backwards. Bismuth was so wasted. Yeah. She has a 2-episode special to introduce her. Then she gets killed and bubbled at the end of it and then comes back in fucking season 5. It's really bullshit. The hiatus is 100% messed up people's perception of Lapis. On a rewatch, they did her dirty. Yeah. Her hair is just water. But it's like, you set up this like awesome looking character. It's like I like to think of it this way, like the coolest video game boss you've ever seen with like the best fucking music you've ever heard. and the boss has like 100 HP and you burn through it in like 30 seconds. That's what Lapis is. That's like the equivalent. She has a worse treatment than Jasper. Yeah, I think even Jasper got better character development than Lapis. Even though Jasper didn't have character development, she just got like... She kind of regressed at, like, emotionally, you know? Which I think is fine. I think you can have characters get worse as development, like Walter White in Breaking Bad. Alright, headcanon. Lapis doesn't know how to thank Steven properly, and she just says, okay, bye, because she's like, she's all awkward. Because she has a crush on Steven. It's true. Think about it. It's not. Bad. I don't think. Yeah, it's. That is a child. Yeah, Lapis is also like 7,000 years old or some shit. I don't know if laws apply to like magical beings though. 7,000 age gap is fine, honestly. That's you know what? If you're into that kind of thing, go for it. Lapis likes Steven confirmed because she looked at him, which means they have a psychic love. Rose to Greg, yeah, like even bigger, like of an age gap, like what, 12,000 years or something even crazier. They worked it out. See, once you get to a certain age, if you're like in your 20s or 30s, then like the age gaps don't fucking matter anymore. Like late 20s, I think it just stops mattering. And then you can just date a fucking 18,000-year-old vampire. It's fine. Your fans sound like they're going to get you canceled. Maybe. They could cancel me for a lot worse. I've said and done things a lot worse in the past, maybe. This is just funny. It's funny. No one's getting canceled today. The internet can have their fun with pirate software and the stop killing games thing for a little while. Anyway. Anyways, it can't happen because Steven and Connie are the one true pairing. Actually, Mayor Dewey and Pearl. That, like... Yeah, it's true. I should stop. I don't take shipping seriously at all in any media. So anytime I talk about shipping, it's absolute nonsense. Just ignore me. The internet was obsessed with something called the Happy Gast. I think that was ages ago. No, the internet's obsessed with dogpiling on pirate software for being a corporate shill or something. Which is a shame because I used to like that guy, and then it became more and more evident that he's a fucking like narcissist. Why is she small? Why is Pearl like making? Is it because Lapis and Pearl are the same height, so Pearl has to feel superior by making Lapis, like, shorter? Mayor Dewey and a painful death. I think Mayor Dewey deserves more respect. I don't... Just because he's a politician doesn't mean he was a politician, doesn't mean he gets to have... He doesn't need to be hated so much. The small Lapis. Also, it is kind of small Lapis. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of sacrilege. We're gonna slide the episode. Ready? Slide into the previous one. We're gonna look at how short Lapis is when she first spawns. When Steven and Lapis are like standing right next, they're like nearly the same height. Very weird, don't you think? That was a fucking bomb going off outside. So I think she's like it's that case of just Steven Universe having really shitty consistency when it comes to height. Were they not kneeling? No, Lapis was standing. Let's go back again. Lapis yeah, she like stands up. Let me like let her. She stands back up, and then they're face to face, and yeah, they're not kneeling. Very it's just a case of bad proportions that this episode is famous for, or this whole show is famous for. That they can never get proportions consistent, no matter what. She doesn't even look down. Yeah, it's weird. She's just really distant. Yeah. Malachite wasn't Alexandrite height in Jailbreak. Yeah, no, there's no, like... one thing that the show never did was have, like, model sheets that go... Like, you have model sheets, you know, like characters are drawn out, and it's, like, here's their outfit, here's their face, here's, like, what they look like from the side, the front, behind, all sorts of stuff. But they never had that for, like, the whole show. They only did it for, like, each episode where they needed specific characters. If they planned that out by giving characters model sheets that were consistent throughout the entire show, then none of this would have happened. And they could have had characters standing next to each other and have, like, an actual height, height comparison. Do you think Greg even knew that Steven had a lion? Sorry, I'm, like, derailing my own conversation. Height inconsistencies are pretty funny, though. Maybe. It depends on the case. It was probably just to have her in frame, yeah. Back, like, going back a couple pages. I think I agree. There are two different animation studios. Yeah, but they didn't have model sheets. Like, the model sheets changed each episode. And they never had model sheets that had different characters on. So the height comparisons never really worked. Other shows, I swear to God, other shows have model sheets that were the whole duration of the entire show. Like, Ed, Edd and Eddy had really good model sheets. Do you guys know about the Plank model sheets? Like the emotion. Okay, let's see. This shit. Okay, Steven Universe never had this. I think I may have to download this to actually show it. Where the hell? Let me find it. Okay, I have to fucking download this image. One sec. this thing. Okay, so in Ed, Edd n Eddy, they had like a bunch of different characters on one sheet to show like how tall they are compared to each other. And even though the episode or this show was very much known for having crazy looking characters that would like change shape constantly, they would always match this kind of height like relatively to each other. And Steven Universe didn't have this. This never existed for that show. And that is why characters were always like crazy differences. It was... Let me see if I can find that other... I can't find the other one that was like really... Okay, here we go. Let me do the other one. Oops, did I just delete the wrong thing? Hold on. Can I Control Z? Yeah. This one. Yeah. So, yeah, these three will always be relative height. These three will always be relative height to each other as well. Yeah. Have you knew that all characters in Ed, Edd n Eddy are dead? That's one of those crazy crackpot cartoon conspiracy theories, and one of the many reasons that I don't take cartoon conspiracy theories seriously ever. Because it's absolutely unfounded garbage nonsense, like zero basis theories. I don't know. Gem and Jemmy, hell yes. I love that video. I love those crazy theories. I love them too, but you just can't take them seriously. Steven Eddie after not surviving. Right up until a week or two before the best day ever, Woodman's had these ginormous jawbreakers. There's a candy store near me that has like huge ass. I've eaten one of those before. That was like a fucking... It was like 4 inches wide. It was huge. It was like if you put that in your mouth, you would look like a character. Like there's no way you could fit it in your mouth, of course, because it's a giant, like it's a softball basically. It's pretty much, yeah. It's not as big as the ones in Ed, Edd n Eddy, but you would probably look like a character with a jawbreaker in their mouth from that show. Well, Steven is Clarence. Clarence is Ness from like the future, and then Ness died and became Sans. That's how it works. Every cartoon character is the same person. It's true. Just look it up. There's videos about it. I think the problem with a lot of these like cartoon conspiracy things is they present evidence which is not proof. Proof and evidence are a little different. They present evidence in as if it was fact, and then just say like, this is true. And they say it with such confidence. Not the confidence that I just said it. But, yeah, it's also chillest pose ever. I wish this were me right now. Guys, I think Garnet is a fusion. No. Also, the actual amount of theories that happened for Steven Universe specifically was exacerbated by the fact that, first of all, it did these big reveals, like the corrupted gems, first of all. And then it does these reveals, but it also presents all the pieces there for you to put together yourself. But it also presents a fuck ton of like fake pieces, and people try to shove those fake pieces into places where they don't belong. And they come up with these crazy theories because like when we get to the trial puts forth like it's like the most obvious red herring in the thing, where it's you would think it's Yellow Diamond who is behind all of it, but it's not. And it's really easy to put that together because here's this piece, here's this other piece that it fits into, but like these two pieces don't fit anywhere else, you know? I was truly a Rose's Pink Diamond denier. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was the same. I've come to terms with it, but I thought when that theory was presented to me for the first time, I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, there's no way. Like, just because what is the evidence? Because they're both pink? Oh. I was absolutely Graggle Diamond. Yeah, there's Graggle Diamond is the evil diamond that's going to show up in Lars of the Stars. Like if Pearl originally belonged to White. Yes, I think that is completely reasonable. But then the show staff was like, nope, she was originally no, she. I don't believe you. I don't believe the show staff on that one. It's entirely. I don't know why they wouldn't lean into something like that. I feel like it's entirely possible that Pearl was White Diamond's Pearl, and then perhaps got rejuvenated, maybe? Who question mark? I don't know. She was never White's Pearl, but I think she was created by White Pearl. But she was confirmed. Was it confirmed in the show? If not, then I don't believe it. That goes for pretty much anything that was confirmed, quote unquote. Because if it's not in the show, I don't think it... First of all, I don't think it matters if it's not in the show. And second of all, I just don't trust them. A lot of these things are either like spur of the moment said on social media or spur of the moment said during a panel at a convention where they like really have to get an answer out really fast and they don't have time to like think about it. So there's a lot of cases where they say shit just to like give an answer, you know? Jared Diamond from Subway. You think Sugalite is a fusion? What? I don't know why Connie's sleeping with her fucking glasses on. You ever tried... I don't know how many of you in chat have glasses, but like... You ever fallen asleep with your glasses on and then you wake up and they're like half broken? You're like, man, that I could have rolled over those and fucking broken them. I mean, they're like nearly gonna fall off. Like if those fall off and Lion fucking steps on them, they're cooked. Yes, the glasses disappear for like a month. Don't do it. Yeah. She doesn't even need them? Yeah, I don't know why she's even wearing them around Steven. Doesn't it hurt when you sleep on them? Yeah, but if you're like really tired, you might not you might fall asleep and not notice it. But yeah, if you like wake up in the middle of the night and you've been sleeping with your glasses on, like, and you're like laying on your side or whatever, it hurts. It's not comfortable. I hate it when my lion steps on my glasses after I fall asleep with them on while riding to a tower of ocean water that rises up into the fucking thermosphere. Nobody sleeps with glasses on, not intentionally. Else, you're right in that. You ever fallen asleep in a car as a passenger? And you just have your glasses on? I don't know. Again, I don't know how many people in chat have glasses. Okay, I'm going to run a poll. I don't do this often. I'm going to run a poll. Do you have glasses? Or do you wear glasses? Yes, no. I'm just going to run a poll. I'm curious. I just want to see. Because I do. I'll say that much. I think I've had face cam on. Do sunglasses count? Like, no, like prescription glasses. Have them but never wear them. Okay. That's... Whoa. More than I expected. We get a lot of fucking nerds in chat. I'm joking, of course. You're all beautiful, but you're all also nerds. You're nerds for other reasons. Prescription sunglasses. I wish I had some prescription sunglasses. I asked my dad if I could buy glasses without lenses because of Connie. Interesting, interesting. Nerds rise up. Hell yeah. Prescription sunglasses sounds like a luxury. Next time I get my eyes checked, I'm going to probably order some prescription sunglasses. All right, I'll end the poll. It was pretty even split, but it was just a marginally more people had glasses. Now I have an idea of my audience a little bit more. I know some demographics that YouTube generally doesn't tell me. I don't think YouTube like finds that information if someone has glasses. They'll tell you like fucking they'll tell you what like gender people are and what country they live in, but not if they wear glasses, which is lame. I want to know that. Speaking of that, I got a game yesterday. I bought a game called Art of Rally. And it's a rally game, and apparently rally cars need the driver's blood type on the side in case they get into a collision. Then they immediately know like what kind of blood they can give if they need to for a driver that was in a collision. Well, this video game, this fictional video game, Art of Rally, when I started the game, it's asking for like my settings and brightness and stuff. It asked for my blood type, which is wild. I'm like, wait, why? And I looked it up, and apparently it's just for, it's a little realism thing to have like the blood type on the car. Oh, I saw a flash of lightning. I was no thunder yet, but if it starts thunderstorming in my like suddenly the stream goes down, that's because my fucking power or my internet got knocked out. Why not just auto-generate a blood type? I don't know. It's just immersion. It's cool. Ooh, I don't know if you could hear that one. YouTube was recommended me a video I was looking for, and I never spoke a word about it. YouTube and like Google know more about you than you would think. There's one of Google's like Gemini versions of Gemini will like answer questions based on your previous search history. I just out of curiosity, I went on there and like I said something like, tell me something about me that I wouldn't know. And it was able to like give me a fucking rundown of my personality based on my like search history. It was crazy. It was only recent search history, though. It wasn't from, like, 15 years ago or whatever. That's not thunder, that's the cluster emerging. That sucks. Man, we just got through halfway through season 1 of Gemology. Now the cluster's going to emerge, and then none of us are going to get to see Gemology season 2, where we get some of the best episodes of, like, the actual cluster. Actually, the cluster... Wait. Cluster is season 3, right? Like, the actual cluster, we see it. Love casually finding out the world is going to end. My reaction is just going to be like, man, that sucks. I had shit going on tomorrow. Cluster is emerging before GTA 6. There's such an inconvenience, yeah. Well, it ain't happening anymore. That's true. Steven saved the day as usual. Alright, question for chat. If you were a superhero and you had superpowers, perhaps like a gem, or perhaps like Superman, whatever you're choosing, and you become a superhero and you save the day like all the time, would you want to live in secret like the gems, or would you want to be in the spotlight like Tony Stark Iron Man and just like have everyone know that you're a superhero and you like save the day all the time? Because I would definitely be in the latter category. My ego is large enough that if I'm saving the day as a superhero, I would want people to know. Live in the countryside? Yeah. I'd be fucking Homelander. Hell yeah. You're like me. You would have the ego large enough that you would want everyone to know that you're the superhero. Why does Pearl do this like karate stance? But like, and then in the next shot she pulls her spear. Is she just have her hand? Does she just have her hand up ready to pull her spear out? I don't get it. Tony Stark got people shooting at his house. Yeah. Well, I think Homelander is a better example. Like, imagine just like lasering. If anyone tries to fuck with you, you just laser their head off. And like, who's gonna stop you? You know. I'm the superhero. I guess if you're that powerful, it doesn't matter if you're working in secret or not. Man, but I also, I'm a sucker for, like, secret identities, too. Like, I feel like I get a bit of that secret identity shit because I work at a school, and I kind of, like, occasionally I just think to myself, like, man, these kids don't know that I make fucking YouTube videos. And I'm like, I have this cool secret identity. Whoa. Who would want to mess with Homelander anyway? Fucking, what's his name? The New Zealand accent guy. What is his name? I've only seen season 1 of The Boys. I can't remember anyone's name. Any of the, like, the human shitty people. Butcher. Billy Butcher. Carl Butcher? Billy Butcher. Carl Urban. Yeah. Carl Butcher. The best Carl Urban movie is Doom with The Rock. That movie sucks, but I highly recommend it. Huey. Yeah, Huey. I forgot all the fucking human people names. Doom from, like, what was it, 2004 that movie came out with The Rock and Carl Urban. That movie is steaming dog shit, but it's fucking awesome. It's so stupid. Haven't seen The Boys at all yet. It's pretty good. I binged the first season when I was sick with the flu at one point. This was before Gemology. Because I got sick with the flu during Gemology for a week. I couldn't upload. Also, if you're a patron, I think I said this in the video that I uploaded this week, but there will not be a video. There won't be a video and there won't be a stream next week. But there will be a video on YouTube because that was from, like, that uploaded to Patreon this week. Season 1 and 2 are good, but after that, it goes to shit. Damn. Is Steven technically a fusion? We had an episode about that. 3 gems and a baby. It kind of answers that question of, like, Steven is his own thing. Like, there is nothing like him. Fusion is boiling it down too much. It's like, I only exist in streams. Well, you'll stop existing for a week. I'm sorry. I love the whole show, season 1 through 5, so future is not there. I agree with that. I think the more I watch the show, there's a lot of gripes that I had, and I think I still have, but they've been kind of watered down by, like, analyzing the show a little bit more. Like, I've started to appreciate a lot of the nuance. I still things I hate are the Steven's point of view rule, and let me think. What else do I not like about this show? Future in general. Steven is a fusion of Pink Steven and Flesh Steven. You're kind of not wrong about that. Might as well get bubbled after the next vid. Then, you can just kind of, like, think about it. Think about your actions for a little bit. Net positive. Future's a net positive to you. You like it more than you dislike it. That's like the reverse for me. Like, there are parts of it that I like. There are moments in certain episodes that I like, but it's not enough to get me to like the series as a whole. Also, Garnet is not a trained soldier. She takes her eyes off the fucking... Garnet would be a terrible cop because she takes her eyes off of the fucking water clones and she gets bodied immediately. Garnet would not make a good cop or a good pugilist. If Future was long enough to be organic, I think I would love it more. I think my biggest problem with Future, it's not that Steven's an asshole throughout the whole thing, which he is. That's one problem. It's the fact that it's so short, yet there are still fucking filler episodes. Why are we doing filler when you only have 20 episodes to work with? That's like if you watched Over the Garden Wall and there was fucking, like, 5 filler episodes. You think Garnet would see that coming with Future Vision? I think Future Vision is full on display here, where they're mirroring each other. I mean, Lapis is literally a mirror, but, like, they're throwing these punches like crazy, and Garnet has 3 hands because cartoon. Yeah. Biggest problem with the show in general is how they basically sideline the hell out of Lapis and Peridot. even with the cancellation, they had time. They just never used it. Again, they were getting so close to the end of the show, and they were still doing filler. I think that's my problem with filler, is that even if the episodes aren't bad, it's like you're wasting time when there could be other stuff going on. You can't be episodic and procedural at the same time. That's just not how that's not how TV works. Season 5 was the worst offender of filler. Yeah. And I think it's because they were time crunched so much, but they still insisted on it. The Ruby and Sapphire wedding. I have a little bit to talk about in the hot takes video. If you haven't seen that one on Patreon, if Patreons would know, but I talked about how Cartoon Network executives suck for saying, if you do a gay wedding, we're going to cancel the show, but also we're going to give you a movie and an epilogue series after we cancel the show. Like, very, very hypocritical, very shitty move. I can't blame Rebecca Sugar at all for that. Yeah, like... They probably would have gotten a season 6 if the wedding didn't happen. Yeah, yeah. I know that's the case, but again, they did get, like, kind of a season 6 with Future, but they could have just fucking... They had to see the success of the ending and the movie before they decided to give it extra. And then by that point, like, well, we ended the show, so we have to make up a new fucking, like, weird epilogue series. Also, I'm mad about this fight scene being the only, like, one of the only times Amethyst uses her whip as a lasso. I think this is cool. It's satisfying to look at. And would be, like, the coolest video game mechanic, too, for, like, a fighting or, like, a beat-em-up type game. Era 3 Diamonds love just going places and standing there. True. I don't like that the diamonds got redeemed. Again, something I say in the hot takes video. The diamonds being redeemed is really kind of lame to me. Like, I feel like Steven should have gotten them to fix the corrupted gems, and then they could have just, like, fucked off and just, like, existed separately, and then you would have this thing where they're, like, plotting some crazy shit, and then Steven has to, not Steven necessarily, but maybe in Lars of the Stars, they'd go in and be like, well, you can't do this. You, like, you had, like, a peace alliance with Earth, and it's like, well, we don't give a shit, because we're huge and powerful. Have you played any of the Steven Universe Attack the Light trilogy? That's answered in my FAQ on my website. There's a link to that. I have not played them, but I do plan on covering them at a certain point. Maybe not the first game. Does not Save the Light, but Attack the Light, does that one have much story to it? I know Save the Light does, and it takes place at a certain point in the show itself. Kinda, I don't think so. Garnet's got that fucking catcher stance. Let's see. First game is during Season 1, so not much, but stuff for the next games. I played the because I got it running. You can't actually buy those games anymore, so you had to... I got them off archive.org, so thanks to whoever, the guy on archive.org that uploaded those games. Save the Light, not Attack the Light. But I played the intro to that, and it kind of had this recap. It's like, we had this fucking pyramid thing, and it has like a light Steven, and it's got captured by a Hessenite. So I feel like I didn't miss anything during from the first game, except for the fact that this light Steven exists. I think there's some talks about the developers of those games to like get them relisted somehow. I think they're gonna like spin off the IP or something like that. I don't know what specifically is gonna happen. It's all like internal, but I've heard like social media discourse about trying to get them relisted, which happened for a bunch of Adult Swim. You know how like Adult Swim game studios ended up closing, or like their publishing companies like ended up closing, but a bunch of the devs were able to get their IPs back so they could self-publish those games. One of my favorite games, not favorites, but a game that I really enjoy was Super House of Dead Ninjas, and the original developers ended up getting their rights to that back, which is cool. I wonder if any news from that came out. Super House of Dead Ninjas. Nope, still just news from December of last year. Damn. Warner Brothers is why they were taken off, according to Grumpy Face. Yeah, Warner Brothers has a very bad habit of canceling shit and like removing shit from online platforms for no reason. The same thing happened to... Well, same thing happened to Multiverses, but that's just that's a game specifically. But the same thing happened to a bunch of shows on like HBO Max. Like Infinity Train was taken down, and then the creator of Infinity Train had to go and say, "Hey, your only option now is to fucking pirate it. So yeah, have fun pirating it." Let me see. That show's probably on archive.org, so archive.org is my best friend. He is my best friend. His name is archive.org. Multiverses is online game, so no reason it's gone. The what do you call it? That's how many of you know about Stop Killing Games, like that initiative in the European Union? I followed this guy, Ross Scott, for years before this ever started. He made Freeman's Mind, which is one of my favorite machinima series ever. And he spearheaded this Stop Killing Games movement. And now there was a petition that reached 1 million signatures like a day ago. And it's moving forward to try to get legislation against publishers like permanently destroying games and like leaving them in an unplayable state. So games like Multiverses would like never shut down is the idea. My cat showed up. Where'd you go? But the good thing is that single-player games like Save the Light or Attack the Light or whatever, those were all, even though you can't buy them, they were archived and you can still play them. Dude, hold on, I gotta interrupt myself here. Look at how like expressive fucking Steven and Connie are when the face gets like right up to them. Like, oh shit, whoa. When they do shut the servers down, people are allowed to make their own servers. That's the hope. at least give it, like, let people take it over, or like sell the rights to run servers to a different company that can run like official second party servers, something like that. You know, just like hand it off to someone else, basically. Either hand it off to the community or hand it off to another company willing to run servers. Look at Pretendo in Splatoon 1 and Mario Maker 1. And like any other online game. I played a game, it was free, called Loadout a long time ago. And you just can't... There's a bunch of free games, like PC games. Back in the day, in like early 2010s, you could download a fuck ton of like free multiplayer FPS games on Steam. And so many of those just shut down because they had like these central servers that you could never just like connect to ever again, and they never gave server hosting abilities to anyone else. Splatoon mentioned. I never played Splatoon 1. I never had a Wii U. And I will never have another Nintendo console until they put Smash Melee on Steam. That is... Everyone's going to call me, that's stupid, that's never going to happen. Well... then I'll never get a Nintendo console. Damn. I'm really missing out, aren't I? I hate Melee. It's my least favorite Smash. I never said I would play Melee. I just said if they put it on Steam, then I would get another Nintendo console. I need to find... Let me see. Nintendo kind of sucks. I've been saying Nintendo sucks for like the past 2 years, and only now when the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World are out are people starting to see it from my point of view. Listen, I loved Nintendo. I think this is the sentiment from pretty much everybody at this point. Is that as a kid, during like the Wii and the GameCube, I fucking love Nintendo. They were like the best, because you get this inexpensive console with these inexpensive high quality games, and like a game company that like respected its buyers, its players. And now it's like the whole company is the opposite of that at this point. It sucks. And I don't want to hate Nintendo. I'll say it that way. I would much rather them just be a good company. I don't want to see the failure. I think my gripe is partly the fact that all of their first-party games are exclusives to the Switch 2 or Switch, which, yeah, it's understandable, but at a certain point, like, Sega released a bunch of Sonic games onto fucking Steam. Why can't we have the same for old Nintendo games like Melee? They want to squeeze as much money out of them as they can, right? So just sell them. Just fucking put them on for, even if it's like $50, I'm sure people would pay for Melee on PC. Melee like doesn't exist anymore. Did they ever put it on that Switch Online thing? Let's look at Steven's console, whatever it might show up in. No, it doesn't. I don't think it shows up in this shot. It's out of frame just slightly. Damn. Also, the lightning is flashing. Emulators do exist, but like pirating a game to emulate it is illegal. If you own the game, it's totally fine. And Nintendo will go after you if they find out if you're torrenting and shit. The GameCube thing for Switch just came out. Yeah, but it should have been out for fucking like 5 years ago. Nintendo, let me see. Nintendo is the only one able to keep the idea of a console market alive. PS5 and Xbox are lacking in games, and they only really are used for other games non-exclusive. Yeah, it's consoles at this point are convenience machines. They're only for people who don't want to deal with PC. And even so, if you want to play PC games, or you want like the cheaper option for a video game console, you get a Steam Deck. Like consoles are kind of dead, other than, like you said, other than Nintendo. Because first of all, there's like Xbox and PS5. I can't name a single exclusive for either of those consoles. Actually, Death Stranding 2, that's the only game that I would ever get a PS5 to play. I like how Nintendo experiments with cool concepts for their consoles. Here, the thing with the Switch 2 I think people are upset about is that there's nothing new. Whoa, that was a big flash of lightning. Like, the Switch 2 is just Switch 1, but larger. It's like, I got the perfect... Oh, I don't know if you could hear that one, but that was a big... I hope you could hear that. The C button. Yeah, it's brand new. We have a button that lets you do voice chat. Something that we've had since the fucking Xbox 360. It's Doug Bowser in his Bowser airship coming after me. He's shooting cannonballs. Look how sweaty and nasty the mayor is. There we go. That's a good frame. I should have used this as the stream thumbnail. This is me for the like past few weeks where it's just been a fucking 100 degrees. I mowed my lawn yesterday when it was like 95. That was a mistake. Vondell, that was like the second... That's like... You've made like the same joke structure at least once before. The button does nothing if you don't have an online membership. No, it does something. When you press it, it opens the page to get an online subscription. Having a lawn in general is a mistake. I've been wanting to kill my lawn and like put actual cool plants, like rose bushes or fucking edible. Like I have a watermelon and a watermelon and a tomato plant, and that's all the like vegetables that I have growing. That's not even vegetables, they're both fruits. The microtransaction hotkey, yeah. Okay, that's my cat making noises. That's not thunder. It will be thunder soon. Clovers. I can't find clovers. Like I looked for clover seeds and they're real expensive. I got a fuckload of dandelions in my front yard, and the one thing that's worse than like dealing with a lawn is dealing with a lawn that has weeds in it. And I wanted to just like not poison necessarily, but plant a bunch of clovers, and the clovers would choke out all the dandelions, but man, clover seed is expensive. Imagine playing Splatoon ranked and you accidentally hit the C button during an intense game. Well, it won't do anything because if you're playing online, you already have an online subscription. Your scenario doesn't work. Also, wait, I did know you garden. Reject yard, embrace corn. I did when I lived with my parents. I fucking tilled out a big plot and planted popcorn, and I still have those popcorn seeds. They're not big enough to actually like make into popcorn. It was really dry that year, and I didn't water that plot as much as I should have. If I had the money, I would build a fence around my whole yard, and then I would just let my ducks run free in my yard. Because right now they're in like a pen. They're in this pen that has a fence over top. Because I got a fuckload of owls and hawks in my neighborhood, and I did have a duck stay outside overnight, and it got killed by one of those owls or like a fox or something. I think it was an owl. But yeah, if I had more yard space, I would definitely give the ducks full access to my yard. Amethyst is already done with this shit. Like, Ocean is gone. We're gonna have to fucking deal with this, aren't we? We lost a few of our sickly hens to raccoons overnight last night. Aw. That kind of blows. Ducks can't fly. Yeah, domestic ducks, a lot of breeds are too fat. They don't fly well. A short-tempered man screaming in your face doesn't help the situation. That's true. Adopt the raccoons. That's illegal. Unless you have a wildlife rehab permit and you're rehabbing the wildlife. I know Vondell works at what is it? Like a farm animal rescue? Amethyst just does not give a shit about us talking about poultry. She just wants to eat chicken and ducks and... I love how this frame kind of... Like, you have kind of the important characters that are actually doing things in the scene. Like, Greg and Connie are important to the to this like episode. Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, obviously, like they're kind of responsible for this. The mayor's the one talking, and then Jenny's just kind of here. She's just kind of standing around, like, well, I don't know, I'm nosy, listening to this conversation. I don't put it past her. I feel like Jenny is the absolute kind of person. She was a chicken that one time. Yeah, that means she's a cannibal. She was next to Connie in a previous shot. Yeah, but she didn't have to be in this shot. I don't know. She's just... Like, you look at this frame and it's like... It looks like everyone has something important going on. Even Jenny looks like she has something important to add to this scene, but it's like, nah. Also, Connie was not standing next to Jenny in this. She just wasn't in this shot at all. Okay, I can tell you all the characters from the back without looking their names up. You got Jenny, Sour Cream, Ronaldo, Jamie, Kiki, Lars, Sadie, Kofi, Mr. Fryman, Nanafaw, Buck Dewey, Petey Fryman, Onion, and Mr. Smiley. Done. Amethyst, Garnet, Pearl, Steven, Greg. That's how no, I never forget names. I will forget names of like kids that I worked with. over like the school year, and then yeah, I won't I won't forget these. These have all been burned into my brain. No Connie. Yeah, Connie doesn't exist. Sorry, but Connie's like also Yellowtail, who showed up in 2 episodes actually. Connie isn't real. Sorry. Connie's like a fake. Connie can teleport? Yeah, that's her like gem power. Her like fake gem power. She has a gem sona or whatever. Do you guys remember that? What was the one? Okay, I'm gonna date myself here, but I was a little bit in that brony fandom, and they had a specific cringe word for like a pony, like pony sona. It wasn't pony sona. What the hell was it? Mr. Gus had the best gem sona. Connie is only in Steven's mind? Is that the new theory? Fursona? No, furries and bronies were like totally different. It was there was overlap, but I don't know. This whole show happened in Steven's head. That's like the laziest cartoon conspiracy bullshit is either it was all in Lay head or it was all Lay dream or everyone was dead already. A pony can still be a fursona. You're true. Yeah, that is correct. Wait, is she is in this shot though? Can you tell the characters by their like 10 pixels that they have on the screen? There's still fire. There's thunder and fireworks going off. What the hell's going on? Wait, let me turn my volume up. As soon as I turn my volume up. Oh, listen to that cool sound. I hear it. No, I turned my volume up and it didn't happen. You're lying. Let me get some of them pixels. Now I can't tell who's who. It's too much of a jumbled. They're kind of there. Whoa. Let's get a look at the gem temple. Actually, let's look at the fucking sword that nobody knows that this sword is there when I ever show it. And this is the only other time it shows up in the ocean, at least. Obsidian sword, yeah. Because Obsidian's the fucking statue. Now, here's the thing. I do not believe that this is a statue. I believe that this is a real copy of the fucking sword or something. There's a cave that's named Bay Cave that's never in an episode. Very strange. But yeah, it's definitely the obsidian sword because it has the hand and the rose emblem. Yeah, you're right. It can't be a real sword because the hilt is a gem weapon. Yeah, but it was like a forge, right? So like this could be cast like stone or whatever from the lava blade. I don't know. It's possible. Everything's possible. It could be possible. Also, it could be that they intended it to like the hilt to have been to stay around. I don't know. Did Bismuth make a giant replica of the sword? No. We've established this, that it would not have been possible because Amethyst and Bismuth never met, meaning Obsidian and Bismuth never met. I believe the temple was there, but this actual statue was not. The statue was made by humans. by the first settlers of Beach City, I think. That's my hypothesis. Obsidian sword from Dewey's historical ancestor play. Yeah, Obsidian shows up in as like a set piece, literally a set piece in that episode. Humans made the sword? Probably. You know, humans made the Statue of Liberty too, right? Which is like twice the size of this thing. And like Mount Rushmore, which is like 3 or 4 times the size of this thing. Yeah, Mount Rushmore. I said that right as you sent that. That one statue in Brazil, Christ the Redeemer. I kind of want them to fix the statue. Yeah, I feel like it's lame that they didn't in the movie in future. Maybe I'll say that. I'll remember to say that when I get to the movie. It's like, man, kind of lame that they didn't fix the statue. After all this time, you had this like master craftsman bismuth, and she just didn't patch up this statue. The Statue of Liberty is green diamond. The Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was a legend. The Tower of Babel, there's no historical evidence that it actually existed. Okay, let's look for that. Whoa, wait, cave. Fake cave that never shows up. You're right. There actually is a secret spooky cave. Who was it that said that? I forget. Looks like a rock. I don't know. It could be a cave. The beach. It is the Beach City map labeled and everything. Let me look at that. I know what map you're talking about. I have to find that. Hold on. We can compare them side by side now. Let me open this up, or I'll bring this into OBS. Okay, we can zoom out and compare notes. Let me do you one better. I'm gonna bring the image into Blender instead so we can actually zoom into it, not into OBS. Let me get rid of it in OBS. There we go. I feel like, again, the show presents actual evidence that Beach City is much bigger than this. I know this is like, oh, the official map. This is the official map, dudes. I don't think that this is actually like what exists in the show. But yeah, there is a bay cave that never also boat. That's just one boat. That's not 2 boats, that's 1 boat. The bay cave is real. It's kind of lined up. I know it's a different perspective, but where did you find this map? It's on Reddit. It's apparently where I don't remember where it came from specifically, but someone boat. It is boat. You just have to say funny word and chat goes crazy. Boat. It's from the first art book. Okay. So-called free thinkers went boat. Boat meal. Can I line this up? Can I like adjust? Can I skew this so it lines up with the actual map that we have? Okay, hold on. We're gonna... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm in like the real editor now. I'm zoomed way too far in. We're gonna adjust the opacity here. Video... No. Opacity, we'll bring that down. I'm going to stretch it. Scale. Ooh. I think it's not quite. Let's see. Whoa, wrong way. Maybe? Line it up. Yeah, there we go. Actual lined up the map against the fucking thing. I don't know why I did that. It's just... It's also at a weird angle, so there's no way to actually line it up properly. Skewed beef. The road lines up though. Yeah, there's no way to line it up. It is a cool shot though, because it's like one of the clearest looks at everything. Like you can make out the whole donut shop. The boardwalk, which in terms of boardwalks is kind of shitty, honestly. Like you have one restaurant, you have like a food stand and like a donut shop for coffee and a t-shirt. Actually, you have a million t-shirt shops throughout all of Beach City. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a really small town, so it's got a really small boardwalk. It's fine. It's fine. What about that one restaurant where they all have dinner? That is technically Beach City. I do not know where that is on this map. I don't think it's on the map at all. It's in Beach City because we'll get to it. There's a sign outside the restaurant, you know, where the bus stop is. It says BC is like it's an acronym that's like Beach City Transportation Agency or something. Yeah, BCTA. So Beach City, first of all, large enough to have a bus system. So it can't be this small. Also, you only see a bus happen. You only see a bus running in 2 episodes, I think. In Fusion Cuisine and Future Boy Zoltron of all episodes. I don't know why I know that episode so well. Because it's such shit. It's such like a non-episode. Do you mean Square Pizza? No. Wait. Whenever I mention this tall stop sign, I think about it all the time. Hell yeah. Can you see the tall stop sign? Aw, no, it's not there. They took it down. It was in the previous episode and it was regular sized. Also, is that the smile sign? Is it there? Or is it, like, not? That's where it should be. And it's not. Maybe, like, if you squint, if you, like, zoom out really far and you squint, then maybe you can see it. If you squint really hard, chat. Can you see it? Can you see the smile sign from here? It's there. I think. I see it. Okay. I think that's it, maybe. That's what I tell her. That's funny. That's pretty good, actually. Was the teacup ride repaired? There's actually no rides at Funland. There's nothing. Interestingly enough. So let's bring that image back in of... So, like, these were the docks. Everyone was saying there's... Let me... You can barely see it, but I complained about this dock, or this pier, in a previous... In Mirror Gem. I was like, well, this doesn't reach the ocean, so it's entirely useless. And everyone's like, that's the pier from... Or that's the docks from fucking Bubble Buddies when they destroy it. But no... It's hidden behind the hill, but in the official map, it's here, I think. Like these, it specifically says they were destroyed. And even in the episode, you see the gems come from around this side of the hill. And they, yeah. It's pretty clear that it's like very much not on the boardwalk side. Looks like the base... Wait, what looks like the base of a Ferris wheel? This thing? Also, the map, the docks, and the Funland are in different spots. They're like swapped or something. Funkland. Funkland is defunct. Defunct Land. I love that. I love that channel. Oh, here's an engineering thing. I'm not an engineer. At least not professionally, but I know about water towers. This house is not getting water. Whatever this house is, it's above the level of the water in the water tower, so it's just not getting any water. That's how fucking fluid dynamics works. Where does that map you're using come from? Someone said it's from the first art book. Also, I don't know if you can hear the fireworks in the background. Okay, I think also we've gone through the entirety of the FTL soundtrack, so I'm going to pick a different one. Maybe Outer Wilds? Outer Wilds is short, though. Surprisingly a short soundtrack. I always want to do Going Under. I really like Going Under soundtrack. Hold on, let me turn up my... I don't know if you could hear that once I turn my volume up. Also, I need a new audio interface because it's so crusty when I do that. Let me think. Valheim? No. I gotta listen to some of these again and just, like, pick good... You know what? Weird one, but Portal 2. How about that? Maybe it'll get too intense, but Portal 2 soundtrack is very nice. Sadie's nose looks like a mad mouth. A what? A mouth? Or a mouse? A mouse? What? I'm confused. Whoa, that's louder than I expected. Maybe eyes? A man? Eyes? Okay. It looks like a gray alien, you know? I wish I could draw. Oh, wait, I can draw, I think. Yeah, I forgot I can do this. Wait, hold on. I need a drawing tablet to do this. Yeah. Peridot foreshadowing? Yes. I now that I know I can draw on this, can I make this thicker? Wait, if I zoom... Okay, no, the line just, like, stays that thickness. That's really weird. I need Inkscape? What's Inkscape? Does it work on Linux? Because if it doesn't, then I can't. No, this is Peridot foreshadowing. If I could rotate this, then I would, if you... wait. That's, yeah, no. That's bad. It's native? Native to what? Inkscape. I'm looking that up. Hold on. Oh, it's native to Linux. I have drawing programs on here. I have Krita. But I want to just be able to draw in Blender. Like, I don't... I think I even have Inkscape. No, I don't. Now that I see the logo and I've seen it before. Oh, it's a vector graphics editor. Yeah, I don't really work with vectors, so not something that I've needed. Anything triangular reminds me of Peridot. The problem with Peridot is that she's not triangular. She's a kite. If we're going proper geometry, she's not triangular at all. You could separate her face into two separate triangles, maybe. She's a rhombus. That's closer, yeah. Also, sour cream is Mac tonight. I don't know if any of you know what Mac tonight is. It's even before my time. But yeah. Sour cream looks like a banana. He does kind of look banana-esque. But Mac tonight, he's got the pointy. Hold on. Let me do a bunch of fucking downloading. I gotta go in and delete a bunch of images after this. I wish I could just paste an image into Blender instead of having to download it. Can I do that? Hold on. Paste image into Blender. Sour cream rocking that crescent moon look. I'll show you what Mac... It looks like none of you know what Mac tonight is. Hold on. Let me save image as... How many of you have played Portal 2 and, like, know this music by heart? Oh. Let me scale it down. Oops. Let's Woo. Yeah. Same guy. You saw a horror game made out of that? Whoa. What on God's green earth is that? That's Sour Cream's real dad? Yeah. When was this like the McDonald's fucking promo, because McDonald's did this whole thing in like the 90s and early 2000s about being open 24 hours. And they had this Mac Tonight mascot. And oh, it was like the 80s. Jesus. Again, that was like before my time. I remember as a kid, I remember Mac Tonight like existing and not much more. But they like no one does this anymore, that like McDonald's was open 24 hours or like at least really late in most locations. But now they kind of don't do that anymore, unfortunately. We'll get rid of Mac Tonight real quick. It became a racist symbol somehow? Wait, what? Hold on, I'm looking. Hold on. Oh, it's that fucking... It's the same logic that, like, oh, Pepe the Frog is a fucking hate symbol. It's where it's used for basically anything, but it's also used by people who do racist shit, you know? Also, I just noticed a frame scrolling by that real quick where, I don't know, that's weird, right? Like, for one frame, the opacity or, like, the saturation gets higher. That's weird. There's one in Green Bay that's still 24 hours, but it's not the speedy one. Kind of like the Burger King crown. I know exactly the video you're referencing. I've seen that in plenty of, like, YouTube poops. I wish my brain wants to parrot it, and I know I can't. Because I can't, like, explain what the video is, because I would have to say the racist words. Speedy is the first McDonald's mascot. Wait, I don't know who that is. Hold on. McDonald's Speedy. Whoa. Look at this guy. Hold on, I'm gonna actually just, like, pull it up on... If my fucking Google loads, what is going on? Green Bay has a few McDonald's, and one is really old. I know Chicago had a really old McDonald's. I haven't been to Green Bay, actually. I should visit there someday, just for fun. Maybe before summer's over. Whoa. Let me show this. Can I show... Yeah, there we go. Speedy. I think PD is a Speedy reference, maybe. Let's zoom that in. Because it's like Speedy but PD. I don't know. The movie on Netflix called The Founder shows it. I need to watch that movie. I keep seeing clips of it. Every time I watch YouTube Shorts, which these days is not often, I keep seeing clips of that movie. And it's the same one where it's like, where's my silverware or some shit like that. Who is this fellow? Well, if you could read, he has a sign that says, I'm Speedy. So his name is Speedy, and I think he's a hamburger. I should get a burger or eat fish. I'm talking about McDonald's now. I had McDonald's for the first time in like a few months today. Cause I visited my parents, and my mom was like, "You want a coupon for like a buy one get one free McDonald's sandwich?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I got a deluxe quarter pounder. I got 2 of them. Speedy looks really punchable. Do you guys know Futurama, like the Moon Man? Hold on. Moon Man Futurama. He was in... Crater Face. That's the one. Let me see. Open image in new tab. This guy. Doesn't it kind of... It's like same energy, kind of. The thunder here switched to fireworks too. Based on the earliest sci-fi film. That is true, because Bender like shoves a bottle into his eye. Only in America. Actually, it's not ironic. It is kind of odd that America celebrates with fireworks and fireworks were a Chinese invention. Though the goddamn like national anthem has the bombs bursting in air, like the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air as lyrics. So like you gotta have fireworks for Independence Day. So many moon-shaped men being referenced today. I did not put those pieces together. Thank you for doing that, because I didn't realize that we're talking about Mac tonight and also Crater Face from Futurama, from episode 2 of Futurama. Okay. Did I give my point about Garnet ungrounding Steven? And then, like, in future episode where he tries to run away with Connie forever, that she grounds him for 1,000 years. No dinner for 1,000 years! Name another moon guy. Lapis was on the moon at one point, I think. Moon characters. Lapis. No, Garnet said no dinner for 1,000 years, and then Pearl was like, we're not going to starve you, but you will lose your TV privileges for 1,000 years. I think they say that. She says that verbatim, if I'm remembering correctly. No, you're misremembering it. No dinner for 1,000 years is how it goes. I love that line. That's one of my favorite Garnet lines ever. That's why he gets excited about books. That's true. Also, that one episode where he goes to the library and he's like, books, hell yeah. I gotta say, I'll bring it up every time. Go visit your local public library. Just make a trip there, even if if you don't have any intention to check things out. Just make a trip there. There's bound to be something cool. Well, breakfast is dinner for someone somewhere on the other side of the world in a different time zone. What are Greg's eyes in this shot? It looks like ENJQ eyes almost. Wait, who boarded this episode? It better not be ENJQ. Okay. Joe Johnston and Jeff Liu. I don't know what they're known for episode-wise. I just don't pay attention too much to storyboard artists, because then I start having like preconceptions for how an episode is going to be, you know? I did that a lot when I did end up watching My Little Pony, is that I would pay attention to who fucking wrote and boarded in an episode, and I was like, what's his name? Fuck. What was the guy who I really liked, who always wrote the best episodes? These are ENJQ eyes. shit. Who the hell? Wait, I'm looking this up. It started with an M, I think. Was it M.A. Larson? Yeah, it was. Okay, he was my favorite writer on that show. He had the best episodes. And then he retired. Y'all ever seen Greg without a beard? Yeah, it's very strange. He looks like a thumb. Steven looks very like rubber hosey in this shot. Hold on, let me let it play out. He's like all bouncy and rubbery. What is Steven trying to tell you? Wrong answers only. He's trying to get your attention. What is he trying to tell you? Wrong answers only. I actually forgot what he says in this scene. He says, "I know, right?" When Lapis is like, "You have healing powers?" I know, right? Stephen after not shaving. I'm gonna fucking... We're gonna get to... you know what? I did the hot takes video, and later... I was always thinking about this. I came up with this before the... hot takes video idea, but there's a Steven Universe iceberg, and I think maybe I'll like, maybe not commission, but request like a more elaborate iceberg, potentially more related to Gemology. But I wanted to do an iceberg video at some point. Oh hell yeah, we got radio music. Your head's about to explode. He's warning you about you're in space and your head's about to explode. I've been up for 7 days straight, and I think I know who really killed Pink Diamond. It was Yellow Diamond. Okay, I'm gonna... This one's... I love this one, but I'm gonna skip it because it's not good background music. That one's fine. Steven's like, oh my god, alien, we're in space. Also, the blocks of water. I said in the video that it's kind of like the ocean coming back in Cheeseburger Backpack, where the... what do you call it? The ocean like comes back in these big chunks. So I say like the type of magic that was holding this tower together is the same type of magic that was holding the ocean back from destroying the lunar sea spire. Looks like giant marshmallows. It's kind of like cotton candy colored, isn't it? Like blue cotton candy. But marshmallows might be right. Like those flat ones you use for s'mores. That was a big one. That was a big explosion. Why are people shooting off fireworks on the 5th of July? They just have leftovers and they're just like, well, we gotta shoot them off. No, you keep them for next year, and then you stockpile a ton of them like me. Is that the moon? I think it is. Huh. Or, yeah. Looks like snow or ice. Yeah, but they fall into like blobs. And they kind of disappear. Like that just I don't know. Oh, wait, no water's falling in this scene. It's just shaking. They do kind of like undulate as blobs while they're falling, so they're not ice. Do they undulate? Yeah, kind of. Like barely. Dude, it's the like the Predator high five where that's you son of a bitch and they high five with like the grabbing each other's arms kind of. Giant jello blocks, yeah. Actually wonder if the water is supposed to be slushy like it's half frozen. Don't remember enough about space to know if it would be really cold space or really hot in direct sun. I don't know. It looked kind of I think being kind of like a gel would be pretty accurate because down at the bottom, of course, there's so much pressure that I think... Oh, Jesus. I think that water would have returned to being a solid... God damn it, why am I belching so much? Would have returned to being a solid, like, at that much pressure. However much fucking, like, ocean piled up on top. For some reason, my friend does not like Connie. I'm gonna blow your mind, chat member. I don't really like Connie that much either. I don't dislike her. I just think that in terms of character, she's very kind of bland. And by season 5, she's just a walking sword. And the only reason she's on Homeworld is so Steven confused during the ball. A lot of it would instantly become mist or rain. Yeah, I think falling from the fucking thermosphere, it would vaporize, right? It would just turn into... I think it wouldn't have the impact of, like, flooding and shit until it rained, because it would... Re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere would vaporize it, obviously. So it would just be clouds, and it wouldn't come back like this. It would also... This flooding back, if it did happen this way, should have destroyed Beach City, like, entirely. There's no way this place would have survived. Beach City after not surviving. Can't really think of a defining trait of Connie outside of the fact that she's the one human that gets involved in gem stuff. Yeah, exactly. You said it better than I ever could. Let me see. I want you to think about how Lapis was only stronger when she had a cracked gem, so maybe because she didn't have her wings, all the power went to water manipulation. Listen, I said this earlier in the stream. I don't have enough evidence to believe that like a broken gem is more powerful than a non-broken gem. The only instance of that being the case is this one. So I cannot believe that. I just don't have enough evidence for it. So the mayor sweated so much he grew a beard. I mean, he was sitting there for a fucking day. I mean, I have facial hair. It doesn't grow that, like, I don't have hair sticking out like that, but after a day I got a good stubble going on. Maybe he was there for 2 days. Maybe they've been driving for 2 days and Greg's van ran out of gas 18 hours ago. I'd like to think that Pearl told Connie everything and sworn to the sword, but made her swear to not say anything. It's surely not true, but I like it. That would be cool. There's a lot of like fun, hypothetical things to think about. We don't think enough about all the people on boats. Yeah, what about, like, the cruise ships that are out to sea? There were some comments that said, like, well, only a part of the Atlantic Ocean was gone. But, like, first of all, that doesn't work. It would... That's just... I don't think that could feasibly happen. And also, you can see that the Earth from... here is fucking brown because there's no water. So if they're saying that like all of this is the water that is in this tower, then sure. But I believe that it would have to be like this tower being this height and this wide would probably have to be all of the water on Earth. How many people on Earth do you think are on boats at any given moment, on average? At least, like, 1 million, right? Probably more. Because there's cruise ship goers, there's people who work on shipping, like, barges. There's just people fishing, all that kind of stuff. 1 billion? No. At least... 1 to 5 million. You know what? I'm going to do something that I rarely do. I probably won't do that often on stream. I'm going to go to chatgpt.com and say, how many people, on average, are on boats at any given moment? Okay, let me see what it gives me for like total answer. 2 million people. Okay, I said between it's just giving estimates here. That's about what I would think, but it breaks it down a little bit, saying commercial shipping has about 750,000, fishing vessels about 800,000, cruise ships about 150,000, and recreational boating about 300,000. So yeah, I think. Yeah. Again, not definitive answer because fucking ChatGPT, but it's probably a better answer than I could have come up with on the spot, and it is a better answer that I came up with on the spot. Also, Steven's got regular eyes kind of in this shot. He doesn't have like those low res like save the light eyes. It is an estimate, yeah. No AI. Let's cry about using AI at all. It's fine, chat. It's just, I'm asking ChatGPT a question. That's what it was fucking made for. It's a tool. Use 3.0 for a better thought out answer. I don't think I can change it because I don't have like the premium whatever. The biggest thing I use ChatGPT for, I am running a Pathfinder campaign, and all I do is use it to bounce ideas off of. Like I just have it say like, I have this idea. Let's do a fucking to bring it back boats. It's like, let's do a combat session on a boat. Like, what kind of enemies can I have on a boat that aren't just like the same pirate copy and pasted kind of thing? What about AI girlfriends? That's on, if you want to do that, sure. That's fine. That's I think it's weird, but if you do you, if you can't get a proper girlfriend. Use DeepSeek for that deep think for sure. I've used the Google, what is it? Gemini like deep research, and I've asked it some pretty niche questions, and it was able to get some pretty well-researched answers. And it'll like cite sources and stuff. It was pretty cool. I'm just curious on your thoughts, I swear. I have zero thoughts on AI girlfriends because I would never use such a thing. I could have commissioned someone to estimate the boat number for you, but instead you use a cold, unfeeling tool. I could have painstakingly painted this beautiful landscape instead of using the camera to take a picture of it. The camera built into my phone. I could have gone home and gotten my $3,000 camera to take this picture instead of using my phone camera. Which realistically, I have done that in the past. I've seen things that are really cool and I'm like, oh, I want to go home to get my good camera and fucking take a picture of it. Three $100 hooker bots or 300 $1 hooker bots. I don't know if that's how it works, but I would go with the first one. Just do AI role plays because all my friends are busy. See, everyone has a different use for it. The problem with AI, I think, is the way companies push it. That they don't know what angles to push it because they don't know how people are using it currently. And I use it for those like complicated questions, like how many fucking people are on a boat right now kind of thing. Bob. This is Bob. I love Bob. I love that Bob comes back as a meme. That she's Bob when she plays baseball. You just say a word and chat just responds, Bob. Okay. I can hear more fireworks going off. I need to run my AC a little. I'm going to turn my AC down. It's not hot in my room, but it's really humid. It's been, like, ridiculously humid because of how much rain is coming soon. Luckily, I have a fucking thermostat I can control from my phone, so I don't have to leave you guys. Actually had to educate my friend on why she chose the name Bob. Also run my fan for like 8 hours straight. Fans when a singular word is said. Hey chat. Green. Let's see if you guys are free thinkers or not. Red? Okay, free thinkers. Oh, I love it. I love mind control powers. Do you think Lars deserved this? Also, fish stew pizza. It's Piz. He's drinking fish stew pizza soda. Not a soda from his own workplace. He went to Fish Stew Pizza. Maybe they have a specific soda that he likes. I know the Big Donut only has like 4 sodas on their fountain. I did it to myself. I destroyed chat. I really did do it to myself. I'm not sorry. I don't regret it, but I think it's hilarious. It happens, yeah. Do you think Lars deserved to get shoved into the ocean? Also, couldn't again, another thing I didn't have time to like mention in the episode that I was literally about to write this in, and then I was like, well, I need to get this episode out. Lars gets star eyes. Not a lot of characters get star eyes, and Lars is one of them. Steven, of course, is the main one. Rose Quartz, of course. Peridot at one point gets star eyes. Lars here gets star eyes, and Amethyst at some point gets star eyes. Lars of the Stars foreshadowing. I know it's possible. I don't think it is, but I do know Lars dying and coming back was something planned from the very beginning. Like, Lars's character arc was planned from the very inception of Steven Universe, the TV show. $1076 isn't real. 1076 is not a time code because that's not how minutes and seconds work. Also, Bubble comes back. That's another continuity point that I wasn't able to mention. Bubble comes back after only appearing once. Steven uses a bunch of his powers. Also, his eyes are open in this shot and then closed in the next shot. Continuity error. Amethyst is in a different pose, even. Also, wait, hold on. Garnet and Lion disappear between shots. That's odd. And then they reappear. Huh. $10E76? What? I don't know what numbers you're saying. 1116? Well, 1116 is like at the end of the episode. Whoops. And I also moved the whole episode. I don't actually have the real-time code in front of me. I'm skipping this. This song isn't too intense for me. It's too spicy for me. Bring your daughter to work day. Greg is a tank? Yeah. Steven Universe, try to be consistent challenge. Impossible. Also, I like that. I am sad they never leaned into it, but I feel like Greg and Yellowtail being like neighbor friends. Because you have friends and you have like neighbor friends. Like my dad is friends with his next door neighbor, and there's like a certain specific kind of friendship, and it's the kind of friendship where if you like go out into your yard and like open a beer, then like someone's gonna show up and like have a beer with you, kind of thing. You'll understand when you're a homeowner. But you like, I feel like Greg and Yellowtail could be that kind of friendship where if Greg like sat outside the car wash and cracked open a beer, like it's only a matter of time before Yellowtail shows up and does the same. Greg learned fishing from him because he was so broke. Maybe. It's a cool headcanon, I think. The Greg and Yellowtail friendship is beautiful. Yeah, it's kind of cool that they touch on it like twice in this whole show and then never again. Like a lot of things. The problem with this show is there's so much going on that they could never touch on everything. But also they wasted time on shit that didn't matter. Like fucking Onion Friends or Onion Gang. Onion Friend was fine, but Onion Gang is shit. Least favorite episode in the whole show. Also, can I say Lars having Steven up on his shoulders is like really wholesome. And well, also the whole town like being there to like appreciate him doing shit is fucking amazing. That like everything at the beginning of the season like all tied up into this one little neat little bow. Look at that face. I know he's got like his hand over his eyeball, but whatever. Also, earlier in the shot, it's... Well, it's apparently the Ronaldo with Connie and the mayor with Steven. And then I guess the mayor just hands off Steven to Lars because the mayor's a fucking weakling. I feel like Ronaldo is a fucking, like... He's got more muscle than you expect. He looks like a fat guy, but he's actually, like, jacked. You know? Lars isn't even in this shot. Okay, weird. You think the ocean being gone would draw tourists? I think it doesn't matter where tourists would, like, go to, you know? They would just start going to the ocean. I feel like it would be any beachfront property, like any beaches on the whole country or the whole world even. And it's the ocean is gone for a day, so people wouldn't have time to like react and actually venture out. Lars is behind Ronaldo? Oh, you're right. I can see it. Or is that... No, that's not Buck. Yeah. That is Lars behind. Also, I don't know where Connie went because now Steven's on Lars's shoulders and Connie is missing from on top of Ronaldo. I don't know, dude. Also, the mayor is like kind of adorable back here. I like Mayor Dewey. I don't know what people's problem with him. Like, he's made to be kind of like a dickhead. Like a he doesn't know what he's doing kind of mayor. But I think he's fine. He dropped her. Just fucking, like, suplexed her into the sand. Secret bat training just in case Ronaldo needs to fight Sneeple as Bloodstone the Conqueror. Do you think... I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be the only person to want this for fucking Ronaldo to show up in Lars of the Stars and, like, still do his Bloodstone persona. Dewey has aura? I think you're right. Oh, wait. Connie's back. Where is she now? Well, hold on. What? Connie was not there. Yeah, Connie is a figment of Steven's imagination because she just kind of shows up. I feel like a lot of these shots were like animated out of order. What is that? Is that a bird's nest with a big ass egg? That's what it looks like. I think it's just like moss and the outline is like drawn weirdly, but that's kind of what it looks like. It's a mold. I don't think rocks get moldy. Wait. Hold on. He's thinking about something. Or, maybe. How do I erase? Is there like a button to erase these? Annotate eraser, okay. Can I make these annotation lines like bigger? Is there a shortcut for that? Hold on. Annotate line? Oh, that's just a straight line. I don't know nothing about annotations in Blender. I should use them more often. Let me see. No, I can't make it bigger. It's not like Photoshop commands or whatever. I also like how this episode ends up. I like the this ominous shit where like Pearl's like, well, what happens now? Because it's like Lapis got off the Earth and it's like, oh, that's like we solved it. Everyone's like fine now. Whoa, that's loud. Okay. That's too intense. I just want cool like relaxing background music, and now I get like the ending music from fucking Portal 2. Get me out of here. I love when season finales end super ominous. Yes. Homeworld wall gem moment? Is that when I was... did you send that when I was drawing the little face on the thing? I've lost it. I've lost my mind. Gotta expand your roster of music. Yeah, I gotta... My thing with video game soundtracks, the reason I do specifically video game soundtracks on stream is because, first of all, I can buy them and I have them... Oh, God. As MP3 files for when I do videos. Like, non-Gemology, because I don't put music in Gemology. But video game music... In most cases, like 99% of the time, video game music doesn't get claimed on YouTube, so you can just kind of use them in videos. And you'll notice that with a lot of video essays and stuff on YouTube, is they, like, a ton of them use video game music. But yeah, gotta expand my roster, my library. I feel like people are missing the fact that there are like warp pads and Lapis didn't actually fly to a different galaxy. Like there's probably a warp pad on the moon, right? Maybe the moon, maybe not. Somewhere close enough that Lapis could have flown to it. I wouldn't be surprised if there was somewhere else in the solar system there was like another warp pad, like Ceres or some planet nobody was really looking at. Not think on the moon, but that's fair. Yeah, I also don't think on the moon. So that water comes right up to the thing there. It really did flood into town. Where realistically could you put a warp pad where, like, nobody would notice? Whoa, 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 hold on. The water gets, like, right up. Look at this. Oh, it, like, gets basically inside the t-shirt shop that's open, by the way. It's almost never open, but it is there. It floods onto the boardwalk. That's crazy. It's at a desolate planet. I'm thinking that, like, maybe Mars or one of Mars's moons or, like, Ceres in the asteroid belt. Wet t-shirts. Yeah, where they're doing the wet t-shirt contest. And, like, they have to do a wet t-shirt contest now. Half of Jupiter's moons could just be mined all out. Probably. There's plenty of goddamn resources on those things. I'm sure that the homeworld, like, showing up to the solar system, they don't want to just, like, do the one planet. Like, they gotta get, like, metals and shit from... I feel like the entirety of, like, Mercury would have been shaved to a little crumb by, Also, look at that flooding. I didn't even notice it on this side, but look at the way this water, like, moves uphill. Crazy. Organic life is weirdly necessary to create gems, but I'm saying for, like, all the technology stuff, like ships. Funland destroyed. Worst tragedy of the decade, of the century. Funland was destroyed from the beginning of the episode, though. There was no rides there. Do we ever find out how exactly the injectors create the gems? No, and I think that's fine. I think gems just kind of being these mysterious creatures, these, like, magical constructs, is entirely okay. And I feel like I'm going to be honestly disappointed if they do that in Lars of the Stars, because I don't know. Part of me wants it. Part of me is going to be upset that, like, all the magic is lost if they end up just explaining it. It's like explaining why bending works in Avatar. We don't need to know. That's why I think the lion turtles ruined. Not ruined necessarily, but I think they're a lazy way to have it happen in Korra. I feel like the bending in Avatar in the first series, in The Last Airbender, like, being explained as just, like, kind of happening and you can inherit it from your parents, because, like, if both your parents are firebenders, then you will most likely be a firebender, kind of thing. Like, you don't really need more explanation than that for a magic system. I'm right about the lion turtles, and I should say it. Yeah, I think the lion turtles are lame. I made a video about reworking bending before I did Gemology. That was, like, one of my last videos that I made before Gemology started. What's the song? That was... I forget. I already lost it. I missed your comment before it changed. Robot... No, that was not Robot Waiting Room 4. Oh, it is Robot Waiting Room number 4. This one is Music of the Spheres from the Portal 2 soundtrack. I think the injectors themselves are tech, but the juice, the magic juice, is magic. And also it feeds off of, like, life energy. There's a trope or something about, like, life energy. They had a word for it. Is it just called life energy? Spiritual fuel, yeah, tvtropes.org. Spiritual fuel that runs the body and mind. I believe that life energy is like a actual thing in this universe, this Steven universe, if you will. Oh, everyone has the video game eyes except Lion. Lion's got normal eyes. Diamond Sweat is crazy. Remember what? Wait. It killed Greg's arm? Hello? Stealing some life energy for immortal beings sounds like a good deal. Infinite energy. Well, the idea was Earth itself is like this infinite being. Like, no matter what you do to it, there would always be, like, life growing on it. But then as soon as they ran the injectors, like, that section of the Earth couldn't sustain life at all because that, like, life energy was drained. Killed Greg's arm. Oh, from the movie. Okay. It's been a long time. Of all the things that I rewatched, I've rewatched the movie probably the least. Pearl's nose is gone! Wait, I didn't even notice. Everyone's nose is gone. Except Connie. Connie's got a big ol' schnoz. But even Pearl's schnoz is gone. Connie really does have the biggest nose in the series, doesn't she? That it's so big that even she gets to keep it, but Pearl doesn't. Lion's nose is still there? You're right. You're so right. But his eyes are still there, too, so he gets a pass. And he's also a big cat. But yeah, Pearl not having a nose is actually... It irks me. It's disgusting. Vile creature. Connie's side view is cursed. I wish I could, I wish I had the episode pulled up, what do you call it? The, fucking indirect kiss where she, like, goes in for the kiss at the end. And her nose is, like, she's got that profile shot where her nose is, like, really front and center. Also, didn't get to mention it, but Pearl says, what's that thing you say about hot dogs? And that's, again, calling back to fucking episode 2. Pearl looks balding. Well, she is over 10,000 years old, so, like, it's fine. If you're losing a little bit of hair at that age, that's okay. Look at this shot again. This is cool. Wait, I'm gonna cut this. Hold on. I can't use Blender in this screen. That's annoying to me. Like, this screen is only good for actually viewing it. Steven's point of view rule is broken in this scene. It's fine. He's in this shot, technically. Wait, oh, when... Oh, you're so right. Down at the bottom here. You're actually, like, 100% right. Steven wouldn't know what's going on down here. That, like, Connie and Lion form some kind of weird relationship, some bond right here, some understanding. Interesting. I didn't think about that. There's a few, like, little scenes. I wish they could break it for a whole episode, though. It's really bullshit that they weren't able to do that. To have, like, one gem mission that wasn't Steven's perspective. Or just have one episode with no Steven whatsoever. That would be ideal, but... Steven is Lion theory? Lion's point of view? Can we just get a straight up Lion episode? In, like, when we get to Lars of the Stars, just a Lion doing his own thing episode with no main characters at all, just him, and no dialogue. Like, fucking... I gotta bring up Avatar again, Appa's Lost Days. That episode right after the most fucking heart-wrenching emotional episode ever. Followed by the second most heart-wrenching emotional episode ever. Like, I want Appa's Lost Days, but for Lion. I think that would be awesome. You would hate a Lion episode? You don't even know what it would be about. I think a Lion episode would be fucking awesome. Listen, I like animals. I want an animal episode. I just want Appa to fuck... Or I want... Not Appa. I want Lion to do some cool shit. To get... Like I've been saying all this time, I want Lion to get, like, darted and taken by animal control and then just be like, well, I'm fucking out of here and just open a portal. Do not let Lion get tortured in the circus. Well, Lion can just fuck off whenever he wants to because he... can open a portal. I guess Appa did as well in that episode because he can fly. Lion Lost Days, but it's just a nature documentary following Lion for a day. Yeah, it's Ronaldo, like, documenting whatever Lion gets up to. For Keep Beach City Weird. If Keep Beach City Weird on Tumblr doesn't have a comeback when Lars of the Stars comes back, I'm gonna be fucking pissed! It's such a, like, I need them to make, I need Ronaldo to have his, like, redemption arc after becoming Bloodstone. The fandom, he's at his lowest point in the fandom. I think he needs a redemption, you know? Wait, I'm missing there's a chat message missing from my thing, I think. Someone's responding to something. I don't know. Maybe it got, like, censored. I'll have to... I've noticed something about YouTube chat is that there's a lot of messages that I don't see during the live thing, but then when I go back to watch the VOD, like, I can see every chat message. Some of them just are missing. Switch filter to all messages? I did, and it's the same list. Do you think Lars intentionally needs to intentionally send something into the pocket dimension, or would... Okay, I'm skipping this song. It's so loud. I like this music, but goddamn is that one loud. Do you think Lars intentionally needs to send something into the pocket dimension, or would anything loose he put in his hair just go in there? I think Steven has to be there, because it didn't seem like anyone else, including Lars, was able to, like, put something into his hair. And, well, because in one episode, Pearl tries to, like, put her hand into Lion's mane, and that just doesn't work until Steven does it. Wait, you're saying... Hold on. I'm just catching up with chat. You're saying Blue Diamond becomes Ronaldo's girlfriend. That's crazy. That would be... I would I would believe I'm living in the clown dimension at that point. Chat, don't look. But Lapis's feet are on screen. Okay, I'm leaving. Lapis doesn't wear shoes. I know, like, she can fly, so she, like, barely needs shoes. But she does wear sandals when she reforms. You ever just, like, you ever just exist on a beach with, like, no sandals, no flip-flops or anything? Isn't it hell? Like, hot sand sucks, you know? Also, I keep going back. We're at 3 hours for the stream, so that's gonna be my cutoff time pretty soon. Not cutoff time, but it's about the time that I usually wrap up these, because I run out of things to say. But like, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this episode. I could really keep going, but I do need to just end it at some point. Gotta say, what's going on with Connie? Why is she even here? Like, where are her parents? There's a lot of, like, you know, the show don't tell rule of writing is to actually show characters doing something. I feel like they don't do that for Connie's parents. They keep saying that in all the time. They, like, say her parents are strict and stuff, but that's never shown. Like, her mom freaks out at one point and, like, confiscates a sword, which is entirely reasonable for a parent to do. And, like, fucking, they, like, that's not, I wouldn't call that strict. It's about as comfortable as walking barefoot in snow, yeah. We never see them being strict. They just let Connie go out. Yeah, like, her parents don't show up, and then they're all talk, like in fusion cuisine, when they do the whole thing of, like, it's for your own good, and, like, no heads on the table and shit. It's like, it's all talk. That we're never actually shown them. Like, Connie just kind of hangs out at Steven's house all the time without proper fucking supervision. There's one episode where they address any amount of strictness, and even so, it's like, that's, like, reasonable for a parent to be concerned about meeting their friends, their kids' friends' fucking parents or whatever. I'd be concerned about that. It's entirely reasonable, but I don't know. Stony beaches are their own unique form of unpleasant. Here's one to one up you, is a sandy beach full of, like, the intermittent, like, hard, sharp rock that you just aren't aware of. Valendale, I don't know nothing about Homestuck, and I don't think I ever will, because it's such a rabbit hole. I would consider it like the One Piece of webcomics. Like, I don't think I would ever be able to catch up. Is Homestuck isn't still running, is it? I'm Googling that. It's not necessarily, it's not necessary reading. Okay, it's not running. I just know I had insane people in high school and middle school who were like obsessed with Homestuck when it was at its prime. So I had like a bad taste in my mouth. It's about the same thing that I think about Undertale. Though Undertale, I played it and I still didn't like it. But it's a bad taste in my mouth just because of like everyone who I know who talked about it was like the most obnoxious person I've ever met. Sorry to say if anyone of you are like that, or if any of you are the people that I'm talking about. I got used to stony beaches when beer cans came with pull-off tabs. Ugh! And you'd step on one of those things and they go through your fucking flip-flop. That would be shit. I read all of Homestuck and retained about 10% of it, maybe. Damn. How old am I? I am between 13 and 99, if you can believe it. I'm actually like 50 years old. It's my birthday today, actually. I didn't want to like say anything because I didn't want to make anyone freak out. It's not. I'm lying. I will always lie about my birthday. So then no one will ever know what my real birthday is. I do that at work to kids. I gaslight kids like crazy, and I feel I have no qualms about that. I will say wrong information to kids. I will just spread misinformation. Kids ask me all the time how old I am too, and I always say like I'm like 700. My mind control powers, yeah. Thank you for all the birthday wishes for not my birthday. What kind of cake am I getting? I'm gonna get a chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream filling. It's been a long time since I had an ice cream cake. I haven't had fucking... Actually, that's a lie. I was going to say, I haven't had ice cream in a while. No, I had ice cream last weekend. I haven't had, like, cake in a long time. I feel like... Listen, chat. I just remembered I got off of Facebook Marketplace. I got a fucking chest freezer. I'm going to make me a goddamn ice cream cake, I think. Just for the hell of it. For my birthday. In a week. No one will ever know when my real birthday is, so I will never get presents. He sounds like an April birthday. Oh, that's such a Gemini thing to say. I don't know what fucking... I need to learn the fucking zodiac so I can just like say, well, that's a very Virgo action of you. God, these Portal 2 soundtrack is like hit or miss, I think. Oh my gosh, what's your zodiac sign? It's Geminiology. Very mischievous, probably October 6th or something. You wouldn't believe it, that is actually my birthday. It's not. You'll never know. There's 365 different options. 366 if you're counting leap years. I actually do have a cousin who was born on February 29, so I make fun of her for only being like She's like 2 years younger than me, but I make fun of her for being like 6 or whatever. My cat showed up. I'm gonna try to get my cat to meow into the microphone again. Like squeeze his paw until he meows at me to stop. See if you can hear him purring. Ugh. Do the age math. What is the cat's name? His name is Steve. Entirely unrelated to the show because I got this cat before the show ever came out. This is an old... He's an old guy. He's like, what? The cat is 13 years old. Whoa. Layering error. Look at that. Hold on. This is the most insignificant shit. This plant is improperly layered. Unless it's like really elongated and laying down on the sand. It's improperly layered. Minecraft reference? It's actually, I think the closest... I can't remember specifically. I just named him Steve because it's like a person name and I think it's funny. The closest thing that I could guess is the monkey from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, if you guys know that movie. When did that movie come out? That was 2009. That would have been within the timeline because I would have seen that movie. Steve, I have that movie on DVD. Should do a Discord like watch party someday. I've been wanting to do that. I don't know how, like, if I could get away with that, if I'd get in trouble for fucking watching movies with people over Discord. I gotta rewatch it at some point. It's such a great movie. Alright, I want to analyze some of the shit that's in Greg's van. Okay, we got, like, I think this is a helium tank. No, wait. It's a propane tank, because it's got, like, flames here. A boot. Guitar, of course. His famous Greg guitar. Greg Universe. Is that a lamp? 2009 is when Infiniminer became Minecraft? What does that have to do with the cat? And Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Probably propane for a portable stove. You're probably right. He does grill, but he like in the intro he grills, but he has a charcoal grill. He's got a huge-ass bag of chaps. Hell yeah. A keyboard. A big ol' studio monitor, that seems to be. It's like the one that I have that crapped out on me. I had a pair of studio monitors, and one of them crapped out, and I can't fix it because it's all corroded. A turntable. A drum. A basketball. Wait. Greg is a baller? Hell yeah. His stereo system is definitely aftermarket. That van is older than CDs. Of course. This van is like... It's at the prime era of cars when... like in the 70s when they started adding catalytic converters to cars and they all ran like shit because they're all choked out by the catalytic converters and all the engines couldn't compensate for them. But there's some crazy stuff in the background here. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what this big, like, tube is. Is that the light cannon? Is that a... No, that's not the light cannon. It just has stars on it. Is this a different light cannon? The hell? This is and I think this is a blender. This is like an old school blender. Some Elmer's glue with the cow on it, because they make them out of their. Looks like box of frozen pizza. Is that a dumbbell? A dustbuster, all sorts of cool shit. A slipper. That's all realistic stuff that you would have piled into a fucking van life van. What do you think Greg's van smells like? Body odor and pizza. I guarantee it. And mold. Maybe mold. You know what? I think he does a good enough job of, like, emptying all this shit out and then cleaning and then putting it back in. So I think there wouldn't be, like, moldy, mildewy, musty smell. I wonder if Greg was a compulsion accumulator based on the stuff in the van. You know that's called a hoarder, right? There's a word for it. It's called a hoarder. Compulsion accumulator. It's very... What is that George Carlin bit where he talks about, like, the, like, tame language or whatever, where we make it less controversial. This looks like the worst thing ever to sleep on, however. I bet he has roaches in there, though. Yeah, if there's, like, a box of pizza, like, maybe frozen pizza, it probably has, like, crumbs and shit. There's probably roaches. He had a couple decades before he cleaned out his storage, yeah. He is very much hoarder type. I think he's one of the hoarder types who, like, doesn't realize he's doing it, and then, like, if someone mentions it, like, hey, you got a lot of crap, he'd probably be like, oh, shit, I do. I should start getting rid of this. How does he even sleep? Like a fucking baby. He sleeps like a... I mean, he's just doing it. Look at him. He's sleeping. This is maybe the last 2 weeks worth of stuff. That feels like my house. Like I don't clean up enough, but I clean it enough. I should clean more, but I clean it up enough that I could have, like, people over and it won't be unbearable to, like, present. If someone showed up at my house right now and, like, visited, I wouldn't be embarrassed to show them, like, the mess that's currently there. When did you ever own a cat? I don't know. This poor van has seen way better days, though. I think it's like at the best point after Pearl repairs it, though. Yeah, George, I love that bit, the George Carlin bit, where it's like other people's, it's your shit is stuff, and other people's stuff is shit. It's a big box where you keep your stuff. I love that. I'm gonna go listen to that bit after this stream. So the real life version of Greg's van on Facebook Marketplace once. God damn it! If I saw that, I would like probably want to buy it immediately. If it is the coolest van in all of fiction. Someone said, not Mystery Machine. Mystery Machine sucks compared to the Mystery Universe van. The Rust Bucket from Ben 10. But that's not a van. That's an RV. That's like a motorhome. That doesn't count. It's unrelated. If the two go up against each other, I think the Rust Bucket from the goddamn Ben 10 would win out against the Mystery Universe van in terms of just like how cool it is. Someone's got a really beautiful replica van that they take to cons. I gotta go to a con at some point. Now that I've established an audience, I would like to go to a con and like meet some people. That'd be cool. Does the van come with a pink lion too? That would be badass, wouldn't it? Fish genocide. Fish are dead. All of them. Basking shark, dead. What is a good convention? When can I take a convention vacation? I gotta look that up. What's one in the Midwest? It's for where I'm at. I thought the plot later in the show that Greg becomes a millionaire is so strange but still kind of fitting. It is weird. I feel like that just happened so the episode Mr. Greg could happen. Also, fuck Greg for like they have to go to Korea. And Greg doesn't just like buy plane tickets. He has to get his cousin Andy to fucking fly him there on his little biplane that no way could make it across the Pacific Ocean, you know? You think Lapis can speak or at least sort of influence sea creatures? I don't think so. I do not believe that that's a thing. They contact the racist uncle they talked to once. Steven can't go through TSA. He's not a citizen. Shit. I think you're right. He's got to get a fucking birth certificate or whatever. I don't know why why isn't that not established? Wait. If like a birth certificate for Steven doesn't like exist, it wouldn't be that hard to go get one, right? Because people who like live off the grid in the fucking woods or whatever can like just go to a like county office and say like, hey, I don't have a birth certificate. Can I get like some kind of paperwork to prove that I exist? Steven just illegally went to Korea? Yeah. Apparently. Yeah, you couldn't enter the fucking country. That's crazy to think about. I don't know. There's a lot of like legal bullshit that happens in this show that doesn't make any sense. And I think just like leave it as is. Whoa, wait. These fish in the next frame, I don't think they're the same fish, but they get like big. These whatever big fish these are. I love manta rays too. They're just cool looking. They got little like sacks, Rick and Morty sacks hanging down. The laws are different in this weird world. Yeah. If you're born in a commune or off the grid, there's methods in place to get birth certificates as an adult. That's what I'm saying, is because they're like, in the United States, you're not required to get a like social security number at birth. Unlike other countries, you're like required to be in like you're fucking required to register with the government or whatever. Manta rays didn't kill Steve Irwin. That was a stingray. Stingrays are the ones that did it. Manta rays are cool, but they're chill. Manta rays are also one of the smartest fish, if I'm remembering correctly. And I have had people say they don't believe me when I say that rays are fish. They are fish. What else could they be? They're not mammals. Do manta rays sting? I don't think they do they? They're closely related to sharks, yeah. Are sharks fish? That is... You gotta... Come on. They've got gills... Actually, fish don't exist. Do you guys know this? There's no, like, biological definition for a fish. It sounds stupid, but it's like trees... It's the same thing as, like, trees don't exist. Like, there are fish that are, like, more closely related to deer than to other fish. In terms of, what do you call it? In terms of, like, genetic relations. Same with trees. Like, there are trees that are closer to, like, mushrooms than other trees. I heard Finland doesn't exist. That's just a rounding error. Finland potentially... Either there's two Finlands or Finland doesn't exist. Because of rounding errors. Let me look up. I'm gonna. There's a. Oh shit! There's a whole book. Fish Don't Exist, or Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu Miller. Let me see a little bit about this book. Is this not... Oh, it's a memoir. Never mind. Memoir about someone. Let me see. No Such Thing as a Fish? That's a comedy podcast? Okay, I can't even find what I'm looking for anymore. Anyway, chat. I wonder if British people are real in this world. Well, British people are, like, hardly real in the real world. Like, England is like a parody country, isn't it? Like the UK. Like, the UK only exists for, like, entertainment purposes, as far as I know. British might be something else. Doesn't Great Britain only encompass Scotland, England, and Wales, and then the UK is Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and, like, a bunch of other shit? Is America a parody country? It depends on what state you live in. If you live in, like, California or Texas or New York or Florida, those are, like, the parody states that everyone makes fun of. The rest of the country is fine. The president is a parody. I can agree with that. To be fair, I won't, like, I don't talk about politics. I just do not care about, like, national level politics. Local politics, sure. Like, I care about my little community and stuff like that, but I'm gonna confuse everyone for saying I voted for the gay guy. Because the other two options, like, the big two options were shit. I threw away my vote because I hated both options so much. Because they were... Listen, the previous election was a total, like, parody. It was a comedy election. I stand by that. Anyway, chat. Before I get into politics, I'm gonna end the stream because it is getting late for me. And I need to... I didn't vote. I almost didn't vote. Like, out of protest. But instead I voted for the gay guy. Anyway, chat, I'm gonna head off. This stream has gone pretty long. If you want to keep the chat going, and if you're not part of the Discord, there's a link to the Discord in the description. Plenty of cool shit to have going on. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to sleep.